All right, we are recording. Okay, so I'm gonna go over kind of a bunch of different things tonight, but I'm also gonna open it up for questions too. Thanks guys for tuning in. It's been a while. So there's a lot of stuff going on right now, as you guys can tell. There's a lot of stuff popping up on all of the team pages, and I'm trying to kind of tag you or post on Team Strive the most important stuff that I think you guys need to like focus your attention on, because you could obviously get like very overwhelmed looking at everything all day long. And actually it's a waste of time too, right? Like time that you could be spending doing more, income producing activity, or, more valuable time spent with your family. So right now, the biggest stuff hi Annalisa, biggest stuff to really focus your attention on is the Go Green push right now. So this is, you guys have seen this before, and you're going to see it from here on out, because all of the most successful teams in this business do this Go Green, 600 by the 6, 1500 by the 15, 3000 by the 30th. Like that is the best practice that you can bring on to like your team and have your team replicate down the line and stuff. And so what that really does is that it front loads your month, so everyone's not panicking at the end of the month trying to just hit EC, because just hitting EC, as we all know now, isn't really that great of a paycheck. Like it really isn't at the end of the day. But when you're hitting EC, as a level 1 or a level 4 or a level 5, that paycheck starts to grow. So the whole thing with the Go Green push is that we are really trying to focus our attention more on like our volume, like the volume we're drawing in. And we want, the bigger the volume, the bigger the paycheck, the bigger the volume, the bigger the teams, the bigger the volume, the bigger the customer base you have. And so if you are consistently setting the goal to like hit those volumes at those markers, even if it's like a day late, but like just set in your mind this kind of routine in your head to try to get there every month, then the rest of the month is like icing on the cake, right? So you're going to see this push every month now. And right now, Carrie Heupel, who's the leader of Team Drive, has a lot of really great incentives in place for doing the Go Green. And so with Sarah Cole's Lexus run on Team Uplift, hi Terry.
I don't know why I'm laughing.
I like your haircut.
Thanks. It's like so bright. I don't look at myself in the mirror ever. Okay, sorry, I'm listening.
It's okay. So with Sarah's Lexus run, like that's where we really want to focus our attention on. It's getting that volume up, because obviously in order for us to get this Lexus trophy as a team, our volume individually needs to be that much better, right? And so and that means, you're doing that either through recruitment or through customers, right? So one or the other or both. So I know we've had a few people on our team already hit EC, which is really, really exciting. The next big push is 1,500. It's not a crazy goal. If you do some activity every day, and if you're following up with people every day in some capacity, even a quick voice message, it's very, very doable. And don't beat yourself up if you don't get there. Even if you get to 1,500 by the end of the month, that's fantastic. So I just want to like make sure everybody knows that this is kind of like the standard from here on out, and you're going to be like seeing Go Green all the time. Okay. And it's good because like once you get into that routine, then when you start bringing on teammates and stuff, like you set that tone for them. And that's how your volume as a team then grows and grows and grows and grows. Right. And that's how you start hitting those milestones more. So let's see. Any questions about that right now? I know that the raffle for the first 600 push hasn't happened yet. Carrie Heupel is doing that.
She did it.
Oh, did she do it? Did I miss it?
Yeah, I saw it posted earlier. I know
Team
what's
Believe
her
Achieve
name?
did.
Believe Achieve did. Carrie Hypel, I swear I saw something that she posted, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe not.
Okay. She may have done it. Sorry.
I don't know.
I have a
swear.
question.
Whatever.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, please.
My biggest problem now, I have 1, 2, 3. Every of my PCs, which they usually 2 of them did it by themselves, so it was okay. Like I was shocked that I looked at my score thingy to see like what was I on, and I'm at 444. So I tried. I called people. Some people don't even answer or don't respond. So my PCs, and I told Kara that's a replenishment this month.
Mm-hmm.
I have a huge incentive. Like I'm giving $40 off, like a $20 if you $40 of whatever. So I told them
if they move up their order on, or if they, or for what's the incentive for? Just to replenish?
If they refer me,
Mm-hmm.
look at $20 off, and then if they it was something what I do. It was something of $20 off, and then if they do a regimen or a lash boost, I'll give $20 off that as well.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and you're not getting much feedback from that.
Our response was great. That's great news. I'll let you know. It's always I'll let you know.
Yeah.
And people just don't respond. And then I did via email. I did Facebook message. There's 2 people that keep telling me that they're ordering lash boost. I'm going to do it. And then the hydration serum for the eye cream.
Yeah.
And nothing.
Yeah.
No one. That's the biggest problem.
So the biggest thing with people like that is that they waste our time. So like it's hard because you're really hoping and banking on their order to get you to your next goal and stuff. But the reality is that the more time we spend especially with people like that, sometimes if you just kind of back, and I know this sounds kind of ass backwards, but if you just back off of them a little bit sometimes and check back in like a week or, a week and a half. And I recognize you're trying to get to those bigger goals right now, but sometimes just that backing off will kind of give them like the reminder, like, oh my God, I mentioned to Annalisa like however long ago that I was going to do this, but I never did. And then when you check back with them a week and a half later, you could just say, I'm just doing my weekly follow-ups, or I'm just doing like a couple of follow-ups. And I, remembered you had mentioned you were interested. Where do you stand right now? Because I really would love to honor this promotion for you. And I can only honor it for so many people too. That's another thing. Like people recognize that this money that you're throwing at them, that's your money. That's money out of your pocket. Right. And we're definitely, you guys, we are not going to be doing much in terms of flash sales or giveaways, even with some of the big things that people are trying to, achieve right now. Like we need our volume and our like numbers to be like legit and not fake. And what I mean by fake is like when we ran those flash sales in November, they were great, right? November was an amazing month for everybody. But to be honest, most of those people have yet to replenish, and they may never. That's another thing, right? And it diminishes our product. It really does. I don't know if it was someone on our team, it wasn't one of you guys that really said like, you don't see Tory Burch or Louis Vuitton doing flash sales, right? And like, that's what we are to skincare. So if we can just kind of get away from that, because now, I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but I have customers asking me when's the next sale. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, shit, well, there isn't one because corporate runs these incentives for us. So we don't have to pour all of this money ourselves, bleed all of this money ourselves. Corporate's got these incentives. Some of the incentives that corporate runs is giving customers practically our discount. And in some cases, even better. So I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with like, indulging your preferred customers every now and then. Send them a gift, maybe throw in a bright eye complex here and there, whatever you want to do. But like when we start throwing the 25% discount or lash boost at, 50% off or whatever it is, it doesn't set us up for like steady, like honest growth, to be honest. So I would say on just lay off of them, focus maybe on other people that you had reached out to maybe like 2 months ago that now maybe it's a good time to follow up, people that maybe liked a post, and it doesn't even have to be an RNF post that you made, like liked something and you're like, oh, I totally forgot about that person. I'm going to like reach out to them and kind of see how they're doing and, see if I can get them in, this month or something like that.
Okay.
And then like, with lingo, just be you. So the biggest complaint, so we had, some of the leaders had kind of a third party,
I thought you were raising your hand for a second. Sorry.
What?
Kelly JP is like raising his hand in the background. I thought Kelly was doing it. I thought she was like,
JP might be able to run our business better than we can right now. No. So there was a third party that evaluated the way the leaders were messaging and following up, and just the way they went about their business. And one of the biggest complaints that we have is that we are spammy. We are spammy in the way we interact with people. We are spammy in the way we talk to people. And all of our business is done on Facebook or, others like Instagram Messenger or something like that. And we're not relationshiping enough. And that people are getting really annoyed, right? They've been spammed by tons of other people that are doing the same exact thing. And for us to stick out is like getting harder and harder. So when you're messaging people, just be you. Just, if you swear in your message. I don't know what it is, but like, just try to be you and don't sound scripty. I'm going to give you guys some good examples of like really good lingo here like later, but yeah.
Really quick, Carrie did post. I knew I wasn't crazy. She posted it, but didn't know she was live for like the first minute. And she was like sitting there like this, like on the camera, like playing with her hair. And I knew she posted it because I saw it, and she deleted it, and now she just reposted. It's Kelly Fitzpatrick. Sorry, it was none of us.
Kelly Fitzpatrick won?
Yeah. But I was like, I know I fucking.
You guys, I never win anything.
No, you don't.
Like literally in the 2.5 years I've been doing this, I think I've won one time. And that was like 2 years ago. Anyways, it kills me. It kills me. Now I'm getting better. But anyways, that's a whole different story. We'll come back to like some good lingo to use or whatever, but I just like move on to some other ones that maybe we can get to turn around faster. Okay. Okay. So the other big thing is so we had that cocktails and candor event with the panelists last Monday and Tuesday, and we had a lot of people kind of tuning in behind the scenes to give us feedback, and we got really good feedback, like positive feedback, barely actually any like negative feedback. And so as a result, we'd like to start replicating this type of event over and over and over again because one, it's obviously really great exposure for us to just be addressing objections, because that's what prevents people from ultimately joining us in business. And I think people just it was like a casual environment. There's like no stress, no pressure.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Poured their hearts out, really.
Mm-hmm.
They got very real. And then we put them on the hot seat and like answered some of those questions that maybe, we like don't like to address, but we have to because, we're in front of an audience and stuff like that. So we're going to do another one. I don't know if it's going to be called the same thing, but it's going to be most likely the week of the 19th of February. And this time we're actually not just opening it up to Team Uplift, we're actually opening it up to Carrie Heipel's team. So all of Team Drive and Carrie Heipel and some of the other leaders are going to be like pulled into it to help us make this kind of like even that much bigger and better. And it's going to be a 2-night event again, just because we want to bring a whole new set of panelists on. And we are opening it up to anybody that feels like this could be like a really great experience for them, a really great opportunity to share their biggest objection to joining or, you know, to being an entrepreneur, and then being okay with questions being like, you know, thrown at them. And we really don't want it to be like the same faces over and over and over again. Yeah. So, yeah. And if you guys can think of anybody that like sticks out to you, maybe somebody you've connected with like on another team or whatever, but start at least thinking of who you'd like to invite to that. And then once we get, you know, the graphic and everything, like all of that will be posted. But I guess just have that on your heads, like February is such a short month. And so this could be a really great way to kind of like end the month strong, you know, by inviting to this. Let's see. Any questions about that event?
I'll be interested to see the outcome of that. I think that opening it up to such a big team kind of loses like the intimacy of it that I think was so powerful.
Okay.
And I don't like Carrie Hipple. I think she's a bitch, so I hope she's not on it. Because anything she says, I'm
waiting for this. Waiting.
You need a nose job, and you need to learn how to talk in public.
I was waiting.
Okay.
Sorry. But, like, I also think that, like, Diana, I think that Erica, I think that, like, they're real people.
Yeah.
I don't think that some of the people on Team Drive are real.
I don't think,
you know, and I'm hoping that, like, I think those girls are so relatable to so many people, whereas I think that a lot of, like, the people
I feel like what you're trying to say is the high leaders sometimes,
right,
like,
are not
relatable. They're
not relatable. So I'm hoping that, because, like, when you open something up to, like, such a big team where, like, people have achieved high levels, I think that kind of like takes away from like, oh, I can do this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So I'm like hoping that like we like it can be relatable people, and it's not just like those higher. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally. I think it was great.
Sorry, anyone who likes Carrie Hypel, she's a bitch.
Is now.
Hey, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I got to know her in Mexico. Oh my God, in Jamaica, and I'll spare you guys some stories, but
please do.
She's very interesting.
She's a bitch.
I will leave it at that. But no, Kelly, I think that's a very good point. I'm actually going to bring that to like their attention, but I don't think the intention is for the panelists to be all of like the, you know, level 5 premier, like, because I would agree with you. Like, it needs to just be people like that are like just maybe at the year mark of their journey, or maybe even 6 months in, just to share kind of like that real. Now, our thought process was that if you're somebody that's not even a year into your business, sometimes finding like the way to articulate yourself, or like sometimes really being comfortable with sharing your why doesn't come that easily. Right. So, but yeah, I think that, the other thing is the first night was all nurse anesthetists. So we definitely need to kind of
vary that,
move away from the same kind of. So the second night was nice because it was such a variety. And one really interesting thing that was brought up was that a lot of people were really taken back by Susie's story. And Susie's story, you guys, is the one where she came in on the 45 business portfolio. She didn't even come in on a business kit because she couldn't afford it. Straight up couldn't afford it.
What do you mean people taken aback, but like in a bad way?
No, taken back by the fact that, like, I think that a lot of people think you need to be somewhat financially established.
Her story is like, I feel like so relatable.
Yeah.
So many people.
No. And that like people were like, Now that's like real. Like, like there are people that are barely getting by, you know, financially, that look at something like this and they're like, how the frick could I possibly do something like that? I can't even pay my bills, you know? And so to see kind of like all different angles and stuff. So if you feel compelled to be a panelist, please let me know. I'd love to have you, because I'm not going to be a panelist, because I feel like I'm always just, my face is like always everywhere and I need to like back off. Anyways. Okay.
I nominate Kara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Thanks,
think
Gus.
about
I'll
it.
get you back. Don't worry.
People
Hey, I did a live video.
You did. And that's
I've done
another
a
thing.
much.
If you guys don't want to be a panelist, maybe you want to be somebody that shares that goes live during the day. So really, like, you know, this could be a really good opportunity for you guys. Especially if
Someone has a question for me, and you're like, "What the fuck did you just ask me?"
And that's why I would love it. Are you fucking serious? You're an idiot.
My eyes are all swollen, guys. Oh my God.
Okay.
So funny.
I do think that's a good point, though, Kelly, because as a newer person, I just started in August, it is intimidating. Like, you look at these women, like, it freaks you out. Like, I don't know if I can do that. And, like, I have a friend I've been talking to, a possible consultant, and she would be amazing. But I think she feels like she can't afford it. And she would be so amazing, and it's kind of intimidating. So I agree. Yeah.
No, absolutely. And that's why it's just, when you have people like that are just like, how could I possibly do something like this? I mean, you know, we need to be connecting them with people that are going to offer them that perspective, you know, and that's like really, the biggest things with this business is timing. You have to catch these people at a time that they're open ears, or their hearts are open to the possibility. Maybe they're feeling bold, maybe they're feeling vulnerable, and you're happening to catch them at that particular time. But it is timing, and it is very much, you know, following up over and over and over again. That's really like the name of it. So actually, see, since we're talking about like kind of, you know, reaching out to people a little bit, the purpose-driven prospecting. So this is really important. I wanted to touch on it again. I know you guys have gotten it with Bob Heilig. If you signed up for his challenge, you are hearing it like right and left on Team Uplift and all over the place. But it's working. Like, it's really working for a lot of people. And I can honestly say for myself, I feel like it's just forcing me to listen to people. I think that before this, I was the one that was always talking. And I'm sure people were like, shut the fuck up. Like, you just talk too much and you're not listening to what I'm saying. You're not listening to my objections. You're not listening to my concerns, whatever it is. And so if anything comes out of this whole purpose-driven prospecting, it's that it's really forcing you to shut up, to actually like listen to the person, to actually like build a relationship with the person, build trust with that person. And then over time, you will find yourself in a position where you will be able to like offer this up to them, or maybe just open your heart to them and tell them like what it is that, you know, you're doing, and you know, if this business, you know, what this business is helping you with, and blah, blah, blah. So the thing with purpose-driven prospecting that's interesting is it's a slow process. It's not a fast process. Like, before, we would message people and we right away, like, let's get them on a 3-way call, like boom, 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 you know, get it done. And that's fine. But what they've found over time is that a lot of times that like kind of firing type of prospecting, like, you know, we're messaging here, like spammy, a lot of the people that joined didn't stick with it, right? Their hearts weren't in it. They didn't feel it. They felt pressured. And so they joined, and now they're regretful of it and stuff. And so This is a slower process, but it's a more genuine process. And I think we'll find more quality people this way. Like, we don't want to just recruit anybody, because at the end of the day, when you recruit just anybody, you end up wanting to like just rip your head off. Like, you spend so much time with that person who is truly not engaged, who really just doesn't have their heart in it, and that's your time that now you've lost. So questions about this purpose-driven prospecting. I was going to go over the steps. I don't know if that would help anybody, and then we can like open it up for questions again. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So basically the thing with this is that the copy and paste method, where we had a script and we just changed like the first couple lines and set that on to like 10 different people, is not going to work anymore. And the reason why it's not going to work anymore is because Facebook's stopping you. Facebook is watching your messengers, and those messages are not going to get through to people anymore.
Damn it, then I'm fucked.
No, we're all fucked. I mean, like, that's, so this is good though. Like, it's not a bad thing, because I know we're all about like being efficient, but you can send a more effective message that's not spammy in the same amount of time, right? Like, even if it's not like, hey, I want to tell you more about my business, even if it's just like, hey, Alice, like, how are you doing today? Like, those are the messages that are going to get through to people. And then that's how you're going to strike up these conversations, right? Because Facebook's really looking for conversation. They're looking to see that you're not just like scrolling through your timeline or just sending the same message to 5 different people. They're looking that you're actually like, it's crazy that this is how much the landscape's changed, but they're looking to see that you're really connecting with people. That's that. So when you post something on Facebook, when people are commenting on your posts, you better be commenting back. You better be having those conversations on your feed, on your post, and then you want to take that conversation offline on the messenger, on the text message, or on the Marco Polo, whatever method you choose. But you want to have, a quick little convo on your post, and then quickly take them off of that and like message them. Hey, thanks for liking my post. Oh my gosh, it was great to like hear from you. What's going on? Like, how are you? Or, whatever it is, but like, that's what Facebook is looking for. And that's what's going to get you traction. That's what's going to get people watching you more. That's like really the only way from here on out.
I feel like people are probably watching Marissa or I, who have been doing this a lot now, and like thinking we're crazy with our Facebook lives or just our posts in general. And like, if I scroll back up, I'm like, holy shit, there's so many new people. There's so many comments, but it's mainly because I'm responding or you're responding on your post, like whatever. But it's working. It's crazy.
It's working.
It's working.
Now, like, they are, Facebook ranks like the quality of content that you're posting too. Same with Instagram. Instagram does the same thing, but Instagram's like another, I'll have to get into Instagram another night, because that's like a whole other like gamut of information. But
are they doing this because it's like free advertisement, like, and we're not paying for it? I mean, how do you even know?
How do I just so they have these like algorithms that tell you like the people behind the scenes, like if you want to think of it as like Big Brother or something like that, whatever you want to label it, the people behind the scenes have this algorithm that they follow. So they look at the content that you're generally posting. And if it's heavy pictures, heavy article sharing, heavy this, heavy that, or whatever, they know now that like that's kind of your style. But then they start to rank. Okay, so like if you're like heavy on pictures and stuff, then and so is commenting on your pictures. Now they're ranking you, and they're like, okay, well, your content's going to show up like higher on their feed because you guys have relationshiped at some point based on their comments on your pictures or something like that. So like that's just one bracket of things. Then if it's like heavy business posting, like you're posting about active hydration serum. That's not going to go anywhere anymore. That's just not. They don't want anything business related. And with the business pages, they're a little bit more lenient with that. So you can get away with a little bit of stuff, but they even want you relationshiping on your business pages. Because the original reason why Facebook launched was to connect people, right? And it's like they're going back to the basics. And so if you're not connecting with people, if you're just scrolling through your timeline and you're like, and you're not commenting, or they even know if you're like listening to like somebody's live and you haven't listened to it in its entirety, you actually didn't listen to it at all, but you just looked at people's comments and just kind of followed suit. They know that.
That's crazy.
So
I do that.
I know. No, I mean, I do too. I'm totally guilty.
Only to yours, though. I don't listen to all. Just kidding.
It's all good. No,
Just kidding.
no, but like, it's just, so it's not bad that this is necessarily happening, because it's kind of in line of like where the whole RNF company is like trying to get back to as well. Like, we're trying to not be just another, direct marketing company. Like, we're trying to bring human connection back into like a very digital age where we all hide behind our computers. No one's talking to anybody anymore. And that's clearly not going to work anymore. Like, so it's forcing us to kind of step out of our comfort zone, so it's interesting. So like, I don't know, Bob Heilig said this thing. He's like, if you take a message that you used to send to people like over and over and over again, like same script. He's like, if you saw that person at the mall, would you say that to them? Like, would you say that to them? They would look at you and they'd be like, oh my God, like, who is this person? Right? Like, if you had to make a face-to-face contact with that person, would you say some of the scripts that you've said to people before? Probably not. So let's see, what else? So when you start like a conversation with people, like, you want the conversation to kind of flow casually, right? Like, you kind of go back and forth a couple times. Hey, how are you? What's new? Like, and then you wait for their response. And a couple days can go by before they respond. And if they haven't responded, then it's okay to say, hey, I'm not sure if you saw my message, but like, how's it going? Like, would love to catch up. And so you have this conversation kind of go back and forth for a couple days. Sometimes it might be 2 weeks, there's really not necessarily a time frame. And then you really kind of start to figure out in their conversations, maybe some of their pain points. This is where the listening comes in, so what's a good example? So I have somebody I've been prospecting for 2 months now, and she is an old nursing colleague of mine. And I simply started commenting. So I have a friends list on Facebook, right? So when I go to Facebook, I have this like dream team friends list. And so when I go on, the first thing I do is actually go to that friends list rather than just my normal timeline. And I go through that friends list and I make sure I'm like commenting and liking and, interacting with those people. Like, if not every day, every other day. So they see me, right? They see me now. I am high up in their news feed. And so, there's this alert now. And then with her, I took it offline and I said, hey, Dana, like, oh my God, it's been like 7 years. Like, how's it down in Atlanta? Like, how are your girls? Like, love seeing, whatever. Love seeing your pictures on Facebook. Waited a couple days. She got finally back to me. And we've just been like talking back and forth. And then the other day I said to her, hey, like, is Messenger like the easiest for you? I'm like, do you have Marco Polo? Like, I'd love to see, I literally was like, I'd love to see your face. Like, but we don't live nearby, right? So I'd love to see your face. She's like, I have Marco Polo. Have you ever heard of Perfect. I freaking love Marco Polo. Let's get on. So we've literally been Marco Poloing each other for 3 weeks now. She Marco Polos me on her way home from work. What am I doing? I'm building a relationship with her again. I am establishing trust with her. I'm establishing that I'm not just in it to like get a new business partner. I genuinely want to know how you're doing. And we're having a lot of fun. And then what did I do last week for this cocktails and candor thing? I said, hey, so honest to God, like I'm obviously, you know, I do RNF, but I'd love for you to check this new event, this new type of event out that we're having, because I want honest feedback. I'm the host. I'm totally freaking out about it, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I know you'll give me that kind of feedback. And what's cool is that there'll be like a bunch of different nurses on there. I think you might find it interesting. She checked it out. Now, this conversation's still continuing. So I'm just kind of taking you guys through the process. My next thing with her will be, I want you to meet my friend Sarah, because I think her perspective is going to be huge for you, given that you guys have both gone through infertility issues. Boom. Like, so that's my next step. I've been listening to her for how many weeks? I've been trying to pull like pain points out of our conversations. I'm literally jotting this stuff down, you guys. I'm like, okay, she said this. So it does take time, but it's like really does work. And I totally do think she's going to join us at some point. I know it in my heart of hearts. So does that kind of make sense? So then when I say to her, I want you to meet my friend Sarah, that's when I start this three-way conversation via texting or via messenger, back and forth. And Sarah kind of will take it from there then. She will kind of go back and forth with Dana. And ultimately the goal is to get her on the phone for a real quick call just to share her story, Sarah's story, right? Because we're really just trying to share our hearts with people. That's it. And where the third party tool comes in, which is either we've narrowed it down to 2 third party tools, which a third party tool is effectively a business presentation. Before, we would get people on a 3-way call and we would do the business presentation and share our story, and this 3-way call would be like an hour long. Now we're just being a little bit more efficient in that we're talking with them, relationshiping with them. We're saying simultaneously, I want you to meet my friend Sarah, starting that conversation. I'm also going to send you this information about the background of the business, and they're going to listen to it at their time. And then, you know, we talk to them on the phone, and then we try to close them like shortly thereafter. So it just takes away from the person that's, you know, prospecting, or the person that's getting on the phone with them eventually, from having to do like the business presentation. Just makes it a little bit more efficient in that regard. So did that make any sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Has anybody tried to like work that a little bit? Like work that in? I mean, it really just takes practice. Like I've been doing this since the beginning of December, and believe me, like the first few weeks I was like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, I don't understand this. Like, you know, like I feel like this is confusing, because there is a little room for interpretation. Like you kind of need to go, you know, you have to feel the person out. But like Dana, the prospect I'm working with, was like, do you have Marco Polo? And so I was like, okay, that's gonna be my route with her. You know, some people will be like, no, Messenger's good. Or, you know, no, actually, here's my number. Texting works best for me. You know, Kara, we just did one. We kind of just took you through the whole process. I don't know if you want to like speak to that a little bit.
So the girl that I've been kind of prospecting about this is a family friend, recently married, has a baby. They're living with her parents. So like they need money, basically. They need to move out. And so she came on the Cocktails and Candor. She's also a PC of mine. She's a Lash Boost user. So she started with that like in the fall. Came on the Cocktails and Candor. She asked questions, like tell she was super engaged. She loved it. Literally just started texting with her, and I was like, hey, you know, my sister-in-law is, you know, obviously does this with me, but she has, you know, just great perspectives, blah, blah, blah. I was like, would you, you know, be okay if we just chat with her just to kind of get some of your questions answered that I may not be able to answer for you? So we did texting with Marissa, and then Marissa literally was just like, I would love to chat with you like on the phone, like, but not necessarily talking about Rodan+Fields, which was awesome. wasn't how it used to be. Like, I would like to
I don't bring up Rodan+Fields.
Yeah, it was not about that. It was just like,
say,
I want to get to know you.
Yeah. Like I want, like you seem like so cool. Like I'd love to hop on the phone and chat with you.
Yeah. So we did that last week. Was that last week?
Yeah.
And
you sent her the third party. You sent her
the third party. Sent her Stacy's call or whatever you call it. And she actually listened to it. I sent it to her and I was like, I'll follow up with you in a few days. She's like, I'm listening to it now. So I was like, oh, okay, well, that's great. So she actually listened to it that night. And then it was the next day then that we actually had the phone call with Marissa. And now she's literally just trying to figure out financially where she can come in at. So according to her, she's joining us. She's super excited. She'll fit in like really well. But it was really just like this friendship thing that we started with of like, I really never even, it wasn't on my radar for her to join this, but then it was like, the more I was talking to her about her circumstances and blah, 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 I was like, maybe this is for you. Maybe it's not. Let's find out.
One thing I will do, like if you guys are on a call with me or if you start a three-way chat, which please bring me more because I really like doing them. I actually really do enjoy them a lot. But by the way, you don't have to use me. Like if there's somebody else on this team that you think might connect better with the person that you're trying to, ultimately bring on as a new teammate, by all means, please, like that's why we have teams, like reach out to them. Before it used to be, you need to reach up to your upline, and then there's this like hierarchy and it becomes this, at the end of the day, anybody can do these calls. Anybody can do these chats. Anybody. Like if I have somebody that's, maybe approaching retirement, I'm probably not going to bring on the person that's just graduated college to talk to them, so really kind of think about that too. But I was going to say, like, one thing I did say to Kara's prospect that I think may have struck a chord, I said, you know what? It's awesome, like talking to you, and I could tell you'd be like a perfect fit. But at the end of the day, you need to follow your heart. I was like, you need to follow your heart. And if your heart's telling you that you're just, that this is it, awesome. Like, I can't wait to welcome you to the team. And if your heart's telling you no, that's okay too. I actually said that to that person. And I think that people really appreciate that, So, yeah, I know. If you guys have any questions about this, please just tell me to shut up. But you can also obviously like always like text everybody and we could have the conversation that way too. I don't want to keep everybody that much longer. Just like a few more short things. Okay, so this team drive mini retreat. All of you guys here tonight, actually our whole team is absolutely more than welcome to run for this. And I've sent people, and some people have not received it yet, but I've sent people personal invitations where I actually sat down with some of the leaders and really talked about who I see leadership, like qualities, who I see like grit, like, all the things that make you a leader, who I really see that from on this team. And so each and everyone that's here tonight is obviously one of those people. And so it makes me really excited because I know that I've never thought that this team is a mediocre team. We are not a mediocre team. If it wasn't for our team, there are several leaders above us that would not be in the positions that they are. So this is very much a team effort. And so I just want you guys to be proud of yourselves because it's being noticed. Like you guys' efforts, even if they feel like minute, really do are huge. Okay, so with this retreat, it's April 14th. It's here in Chicago. Regardless of where you end your month of March, because that's the qualification period for this, everyone is responsible for their transportation to the retreat, okay? Always remember though that like anything like this is a tax write-off. Like when I went to Jamaica, everything was a tax write-off. Like when I went to convention, same thing. So something like this constitutes a business, event, right? So you are responsible for your transportation. That being said, if you level up, so think about the level that you're at right now. If you level up to a level 2, a level 3, or a level 4 by the end of March, you will have earned your place at this retreat. And it has to be the first time you've earned it. Like it can't be like, I was a level 3 or whatever, and then I went back down to 1, and then I hit level 3 again at the end of March. Like it has to be the first time that you've earned it. So level 2 means you need 2 business partners. Level 3 means you need 4. Level 4 means you need 6. And level 5 is 8 or more. So I know it seems like a lofty goal, but you guys, last year, I'm going to tell you guys this again and again and again. Last year, I was toggling between level 2 and level 3. That's where I was last year at this exact time. I was a level 2, level 3, going back and forth, back and forth. Couldn't figure out how I was going to make it happen, but I stopped viewing myself as somebody that was like envious of the leaders. Oh my God, like I can never be them. Like I can never get there, and started viewing myself as a leader. I just made that switch. I just said to myself, I'm going to fucking get to level 5 if it kills me. And I'm going to do everything in my power, and I'm going to stay consistent. And it happened. Right now, I'm not going to lie. I do toggle between level 5 and level 4 all the time. It's not easy, but when you tell yourself that you're going to do something, the person that you're going to let down at the end of the day is yourself. So if you don't do it, like it stings. It really stings. And it is absolutely doable for every single person here tonight. It is absolutely doable for every single person on our team. It's just how bad do you want it? That's really what it comes down to. How much of a priority is this? And it's a really cool event that this retreat's awesome. So the structure of it's going to be in the morning, there's going to be this fun training that we're actually going to do. Any of these retreats, by the way, always will have a training component. It's not always just pleasure. So there's going to be a really fun training with a surprise guest. And then after that, we're actually going to be taking a cooking class. Which is like a private cooking class. And there's going to be a mimosa bar, a bloody bar. There's going to be heavy alcohol because anytime RNF gets together, that's what happens. And, then stories start pouring out. And then after that, there's going to be just some more pampering, awards and recognitions being like given out and stuff. It's a really huge bonding opportunity, obviously, too. Kind of really shows you like the true essence of the company. And then in the evening, anybody that it's a level 3 or above will be going to a dinner and out for dancing. If you're coming in from out of town for it, there will be blocks set aside at a hotel too for accommodations. And let's say you've earned this. Let's say you've earned your spot by the end of March, but you can't make it. Then we will actually be giving you a cash payout for the value of that day based on the level that you end March at. Okay. So I started the group on WhatsApp. I sent you guys a link with just, the breakdown of how the day is going to look and what the cash breakdown is and like what the requirements are and stuff. Take a look at it and like seriously tell yourself that this is going to happen. It's going to happen. And that way, even if, let's say you miss it, let's say you don't hit it by March, you're in that running like mindset though. And that running mindset then is going to continue into the qualification period for convention, where everyone's like running for new titles for convention. And so it's going to set you up for lots of success like throughout the year. So, I obviously like want my team to be there. really, really badly. And so I really hope that you guys will kind of take this, and really think about it. Level 2 is not crazy. It is not crazy to bring on 2 new business partners. It's not.
Question. So you bring on 2 business partners, and then do you need to maintain your EC?
Yes.
Or is there higher?
No. So no, if you bring EC is like the base for anybody, regardless of what level you're at.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you're a level 1 EC at 600, obviously it's going to pay a little differently if you're a level 3 at 600. But because you're making more percentage wise now, as with each level up. But there's no like extra requirement. Now, those business partners, in order to get you, so you bring on 2 new business partners, in order to get you to level 2, those business partners need to hit EC too.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. And with the Spark program, like that's money that's like being thrown at them for hitting executive consultant. And it's really that, like, though we can talk about Spark like some other time, but like spend some time like kind of looking at it or whatever, like that's a great program that they have in place for new consultants, and if you're somebody that's new and like really wanting to build big, like if you hit the ground running with Spark, oh my God, I mean, they're like cutting you like huge checks and giving you mini facials and all this other stuff. So yeah. So yeah, I mean, I want to do this with you guys. I want you guys to be honest with me. Like, where do you stand? Do we have any prospects in the works? If we don't, it's okay. Let's start looking for them. There is plenty of time. Like a lot can happen. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? No. All right. Well, I think I put you guys to sleep. Sorry. We haven't met in a long time. So I feel like I needed to cover like so much. Yeah. I mean, you guys just keep asking those questions on WhatsApp. Oh, I know. Hold on. This is a really good script. 1 second. I wanted to share with you guys, and then I will cut, and then I will stop the recording. Okay. So regardless of where you are in your business, you could have started 2 years ago. You could have started back in September, August, November, whatever. If you've reached out to somebody already and you either got a no or like zero response from them, this is like an interesting approach. I'm going to start trying this with people that have flat out given me a no. Okay. Hey, so-and-so, how is everything? Obviously, I'm going to not make it as scripty. Okay. What you're doing with the script is acknowledging that you did it wrong the first time. So I owe you an apology. The last time we spoke, obviously you have to change the lingo depending on the situation. The last time we spoke, I shared my business with you and I did it totally wrong. I didn't realize at the time, but I know better now. Things have been going really well and I've been thinking about you. If this winds up being even half as big as I think it's going to be, I can't even imagine where I'll be a year from now. I've really never been more excited about anything in my life, and I wouldn't want you to be angry with me for not at least reaching back out. Would you be open to taking a look again? If it's not for you, that's totally fine, but maybe someone you know comes to mind. It would be great to catch up either way. Thanks.
Okay.
Interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're acknowledging, like, you kind
You're
of
like putting it all on you.
Yeah. You're putting it all on you.
Right.
Hey, I'm sorry about the way I came off the last time. It really wasn't me, and I'm kind of embarrassed by it. Want to talk about being vulnerable? Like that's vulnerability at its finest, right there.
Mm-hmm.
So I can I'll take a picture of that and send it to you guys. But I thought that was interesting. I think there's like several people I can think of that I need to apologize to.
I'm going to try that.
Isn't it good?
I like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we're human. We're human, right? And this is a learning experience, right? It's a, it's a human business. It's not run by robots, but sometimes we maybe come across like we're robots, So I loved that. I really was like, ooh, yeah, that's good. So I will send that to you guys. All right. I'm done talking. Heads up, November is going to be a great month. Just tell or February is going to be a great month. Sorry.
Oh my God.
November
I hope we're not going backwards.
I would go back to November right now.
I hope not.
I would too. November, yes, but bring on spring, please.
Yeah, we're no backwards. Okay, cool. Well, ask questions. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, ladies.